least 43 people have lost their lives in a massive fire that broke out inside a factory at Anaj Mandi in the national capital. This is located on the Rani Jhansi Road. This incident took place early on this morning. 59 people were pulled out of the factory, out of which at least 43 people have died. The fire was reported at around 5:22 in the morning. Let's go over to Sukirti Dwivedi, who is at the location. Sukirti, what is the latest that you can tell us?
Well, yes, as far as the number of lives that have been lost so far, the number is at 43 right now. Many people are also admitted at various hospitals in Delhi, the LNJP hospital and the Lady Hardinge hospital. We are currently standing at the location where the incident took place. So this narrow passageway that you see, this gully, if you go inside it, there are three big houses that are connected to each other, and all of these are multi-storied buildings in which several workshops were being run. One of those was meant for bags manufacturing. One was meant for printing paper, and all of these workshops were right next to each other, and their laborers were sleeping inside when around 4 or 4:30 a.m. the fire started. The cause of the fire is unknown at the moment, but the first call to the fire service station was made around 5:22 a.m. So because all of these laborers were sleeping, it is hard to say whether they even had enough time to really make sense of the situation and even rush to the fire exits. There are teams of the NDRF which are still inside and are trying to see if there are any more people to be rescued. The fire was doused a few hours ago, but initially when the fire tenders came to the spot, you can imagine that through this narrow passageway, it was very difficult for even the fire trucks to go inside. But the fire service teams are still here at the spot trying to understand what really started the fire. There are teams of the Delhi police as well that are here. And as we mentioned, the NDRF teams as well. Many politicians have been coming in. BJP leader Vijay Goyal and Raj Thakur, they've been at the spot. Arvind Kejriwal is set to reach the spot anytime. And many Delhi police senior officials have also been coming to the spot. So, and all of these, you can see also something that we'd like to mention about this area. This is not completely an industrial spot, but all of these are, as you can see, these are houses of people that are right next to this area. As you can see,
just to interrupt you for a second, we have the fire chief joining us, Mr. Atul Garg. Sir, what details can you tell us at the moment?
See, this fire was occurred around morning 5:20, and immediately we rushed 4 fire tender. And after that, the people told us that there are lot many people are trapped inside the building. So total 30 fire tender we have moved, and almost 150 fire personnel are on the job.
Right, sir, but abhi tak ye cause ka pata chal saka hai? What caused this fire? Is there any indication?
No, our main focus was initially for the rescue the people, so we could not find out what is the cause of fire. But this building is basically commercial residential building. People are working also there and they are living also there.
Sir, this workshop, do you have any details? What was this workshop? What was made? What was manufactured in this workshop, sir?
See, they have a 4 floor, and every floor have a different manufacturing. Some reducer, wallboard, packing material, like this. These all flammable items are there.
Right. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Let's take that back to Sukirti. So, Sukirti, that was Atul Garg, the fire chief, talking to us about how the sequence of events. He said that the cause has not been ascertained, but he did say exactly that there were multiple workshops. What else can you tell us? Do we know if did it start at one point? Did it spread at one point? What else do we know?
Well, yes, as the fire chief mentioned, there were multiple workshops being run. So as we said earlier to our viewers that there is a bag manufacturing workshop inside as well as a printing paper workshop. And, all of these are inflammable materials, and that could have led to the fire spreading very fast and not giving people enough time to even rush for an exit. The last factory fire of this kind that we saw was in January 2018 when 17 people had died in Bawal. Savannah, and there many people had tried to rush to the terrace and had tried to jump from there in order to save their lives. Many had even suffered injuries in the process. But something like that, was it possible for the people here to do or not? We do not know that at the moment. As of now, we know that at the second and third floor, that's the place where the fire was actually spreading. These laborers could have been migrant laborers, how it usually tends to be in these situations. Could they have been from places in UP and Bihar and had been living here? Because if, as we've been saying, if we can show you all the area right next to, adjacent to this building as well, all of these buildings, as you can see, are houses only, and workshops are being run somewhere or the other in one or two rooms in these places. So a big question is also whether they had the legal permit to actually run these workshops in this manner, because this, you see, is not a very wide area where if a situation like this, if a fire starts, how will the fire trucks even manage to enter inside the spot, and whether there was any fire safety equipment also inside or not, we do not know that at the moment. This entire entry point that my camera person is trying to show you right now, they have blocked it by putting up barricades, but it is inside. Those entire buildings are situated where the fire started, but in these narrow lanes, for any fire tenders to go inside and immediately reduce the damage would have been very difficult, and that is why the number of lives that have been lost is also quite high. Many of the BJP leaders that had gone inside to inspect the spot are now coming out. We also see Mr. Hardeep Puri, the Urban Development Minister, is also part of the group that went inside. So did Delhi BJP Chief, Mr. Manoj Tiwari, other BJP leaders, Mr. Anurag Thakur, also coming out now at this point of time.
Right, so Kirti, we will